The last unjointed area that I have is my tail. With the tail, what I really want the model to do is have a nice smooth curve to it, like a spiral, and what that means is that I need evenly spaced joints and that I'm going to need a lot of them. The more joints you put in, the smoother the curve is going to be. The fewer joints you have, the less smooth. However, the more joints you have, naturally, the more things you'll have to make controls for later on. As a compromise, take a look at your model and look at its existing geometry. You never want the number of joints to exceed the number of edge loops. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 loops along the tail, so I probably want 4 or 5 joints, maybe even 6 joints. You could put in a joint for every single loop. For me, that's going to be too much. But of course, everybody's different, and one of the goals with this is that you start to see how flexible rigging can be, and that if you don't like the way something works, it's really easy to just delete your joint chain and start over. So I'm going to put this in. These will become my tentative joints. And here I go. I'm going to try to center these within the tail as best I can. We'll just go 1, and then, a little bit over, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 6, and I'll press enter there. Now, right now this has absolutely no relationship to my geometry. If I go back to shading, I can turn on wireframe unshaded, and now I can see a little bit better. So this is a great time for me to come in and practice moving my joints so that they line up a little bit better with the existing geometry. Remember, if I use the Move tool, I can move multiple joints at a time. If I press D to move into Insert Pivot mode, I can move one joint at a time. The better these joints align with the geometry of the model, the more fluid they're going to look. And there are times when you, as a rigger, will want to send things back to your modeling department to say, nothing here lines up, I can't rig this. But I think this is going to be pretty good for me. While I'm here, I'll just press D again to move out of Insert Pivot mode. I think it's going to be really helpful for me to make a bunch of these joints smaller. As I move towards the end of the chain, I want the joints to become progressively smaller, so that I have an easy visual guide for where they are in the hierarchy. So if this one here is 0.1, I can make this one 0.2. Then maybe my next one will be 0.3. I'm going to make this one 0.3 as well. We'll make this one 0.4. You could be more precise with your numbers, but I know that this one here, the end of the chain, the root, is 0.5, and I don't really want to be bigger than that. These are all my tail joints. So the first and easiest thing I can do for naming them is just come into the first one, and I will rename this Tail Begin JT 01. I find that it is always helpful to have a little word or two in there so that you remember what's what. So that's the beginning tail joint. When I come into the second one, I can paste that name in. We'll call this one joint 2. It probably would have helped if I told you that I copied when I put that first name in, but I'll take tail joint 02. I will Control or Command C to copy that. And we'll go into the next one and just increment the number all the way on down. So this one will be 4. This one will be 5. And this last one here, I'm going to stick the word and in, and we'll call this one 06. Now that I've got all the tail joints created, I want to add them to the rest of my skeleton, so I'm just going to middle mouse drag this up to my root joint, and now I've got one skeleton for this model. Lovely! We'll talk about cleaning this skeleton up, and then we will start binding it to the model.